Hello everyone. We are live in our Facebook group today. Excited for us to chat about today's topic, which is all about how to stay positive during a flare-up. Now, before we get into today's topic, I want to start off all of our lives giving you guys a tip. So each week in our lives, I'm going to give you guys a tip of the week, something that you can kind of note down quickly and go from there. So today's tip is to eat more healthy fats. Healthy fats are not only good for your eczema, for TSW, but also really good for reducing cravings. A lot of us crave for like junk food and stuff like that, and eating healthy fats can actually help with that. It's also really good for your skin, of course, and then helps with your cognitive health as well. Some quick tips on how you guys can implement or add more healthy fats in your diet is to eat more fish regularly. So choose salmon, choose trout, cod, halibut. Those are really good sources of healthy fats. You can get healthy fats from plant-based sources too, right? So include more flax seeds in your diet, add some more hemp seeds, chia seeds, use olive oil, right? These are all ways that you guys can start adding more healthy fats into your diet to make your diet more well-rounded. So that is my tip of the week for you guys this week. And then moving on to business updates. Now, I value transparency and I always want to keep you guys in the loop in terms of what's going on with my programs and helping people with eczema. So recently, I just opened up a spot in my Clear Your Eczema program, and I reached out to my waitlist, who have been patiently waiting for it to be launched. And we enrolled one lovely, beautiful soul into the program. Her name is Zainab. I'm so excited for you, Zainab, if you're watching right now, for you to get started in the program. So now we're officially sold out again in the Clear Your Eczema program, but do not worry if you guys are still looking for support, because I am thinking of relaunching the program sometime in the summer. So go ahead and click the link to join the waitlist for the program. Another thing I wanted to start including in my weekly lives is to share with you guys some success stories, because I'm sure a lot of you guys get really encouraged and inspired when you hear about other people who are healing. So I have my client, Lovely Ness. I'm just opening up her message here. So she messaged me this week and she said, "Hi, Julia. I'm doing good. The itchiness and flares aren't as bad anymore. And for the past 2 nights, I've been sleeping better." She says she just got the powder last night in the mail, so I'll be trying it out today. So we implemented a few supplements to help her sleep better and manage her stress. So she's getting some glycine powder in the mail, which is really helpful for that. Another win that she has is she's saying that sleep and not stressing out a lot has made a huge difference in her skin. Last night I almost got 8 hours of sleep. I'm not itching before I go to bed or during my sleep. I've been heading to bed earlier, a huge thing for you guys. You guys have to sleep earlier, and meditating every night before going to bed. This is the first time in a while that I woke up feeling good, and while driving to work, I felt at ease and at peace. I wasn't stressed out or rushing. So this is an amazing win, you guys, even though it's not, she still has eczema and she's still dealing with it, but she's seeing a lot of improvements by just sleeping better and not stressing so much. Now, let's get into today's topic, because I'm sure you guys want to hear all about how to stay positive during a flare-up, because we know that it can be really, really challenging. And, as an eczema and TSW warrior myself, I can totally relate to you guys, which is why I wanted to talk about today's topic with you, because I feel like it's not really talked about that much, on social media, and it's something that can actually make, change the way your skin heals. And so I want to spend the next 20 minutes to share with you guys some tips in terms of how to stay positive and how to really change the way you think about your skin flare-ups, because I know a lot of you guys can relate to this, and comment if you can relate. Dealing with skin flare-ups is a lot more, it affects you more emotionally and mentally more than physically. Of course, the itching and then the scratching and the painfulness of the flares can really get to you. But I think for me, what gets to me the most is the emotional part of it. If you guys agree, comment and say yes. Like definitely the emotional part in terms of, being upset about it and just feeling really down. I think that's kind of what drives the flare ups and makes you feel like your flare up is never going to heal, right? And so I want you guys to really think, when you're going through a flare up, instead of always thinking, why me? Why am I going through a flare up? What did I do wrong? I feel so upset about my skin and just all of these negative thoughts that can, really make you feel already worse than you're already feeling. I really want you guys to understand your flare ups. And when I say understand, I mean really try to be in tune with your body and try to identify really what's going on in your life. Because as you guys know, when you guys flare, it's can be from different reasons, right? If you're able to identify where it's coming from, trust me, it's going to be a lot easier on you. Meaning, I always think that there's a reason for flare ups, okay? I don't think flare ups just come up out of nowhere. Of course, if you're in TSW, you're going through topical steroid withdrawal, that's a whole different story. Your flare ups are going to be a lot more random. But if you're just dealing with eczema, there is always a reason, in my opinion. Whether that's through food, whether that's through an environmental trigger, like your environmental allergies, something that you touched, something that you used, stress, and all those things, there's always a reason. And so I want you guys to go back and think back on what could be triggering those flares, right? Look back into your diet diary. Was it something that you guys ate last week that might have triggered a flare up this week? Did you eat a lot of fried food, like anything that's kind of out of the ordinary? And identifying those things, right? And writing it down. Writing it down is key. And I'm not saying that food is always the reason why you're flaring, but at least you have something to look back to versus you frantically trying to figure out, oh my God, like why am I flaring? Is it this? Is it because I had a glass of wine last night? Like it gets a little bit crazy when you have nowhere to look to. So that's why I say to always keep a food diary, to keep track of your symptoms. And so when you do have a flare up, you know where to look first instead of freaking out, right? And if it's not the food part, think back to how you were feeling throughout the week, right? Were you sleeping a lot less this week? Were you working more than 8 hours a day and not taking a break? Do you have kids that's running around and causing you more stress, right? I can't relate because I don't have kids, but I'm sure a lot of moms are out there are dealing with a lot of stress with COVID and having their kids at home and all of that. So is that affecting your mental health, right? Because I know it sounds kind of like, oh, how does this have to do with anything with my eczema? But trust me, it does. Like the way you work during the week, the way how many hours you are working, how much rest you get, like all of these things can play a role in your flare-ups. Even if you don't feel a flare-up right away, things kind of compound over time, right? And I'm telling you guys this because this is going to help you become more positive during your flare-up because you can relate it to something, right? Like I said, when you're able to link it back to something, you feel a lot better. Let's say you identify that, okay, last week you're right, Julia, like I was sleeping terribly because my kid was keeping me up all night, or I worked 10 hours a day last week because work was really busy. Like at least you are mindful of these things and you can really be in tune with your body and understand your flare-ups, okay? It's all about understanding your flare-ups more than, how do I say this? More than being upset that you're flaring up, right? I hope that makes sense to you guys about that. And The other thing I want to point out is you guys have to remember that flares always pass, okay? Everything that you guys are going through right now, and I'm sure you guys hear this all the time, but flares are not meant to be there forever, okay? You are flaring up for a reason, so try and figure out what that reason is and try to fix it, right? Whether that's through resting your body more, getting away from social media, um, taking more hours in the day for yourself, meditating, being in tune with your body, right? I think all of these things is going to play a role. Even if you don't see benefits right away, over time, you're going to be in a much more calmer mindset. You're going to be more relieved. You're going to be like, okay, like you're right. Last week, I didn't take care of myself. This is why this week I'm flaring, right? And I have a very good example of myself. I have been grinding, and grinding over the past 6 months ever since I started my whole program. And I did go through an eczema flare up. And, at first I was frantically trying to figure out, was it something I ate? Was it, I don't know, the glass of wine that I had last week? And then realizing it was none of those things, going back to my food diary. And it was the fact that I was stressed and I didn't acknowledge it. Okay? And so I want you guys to do the same thing too. Okay? And the other point I want to say is do not forget why you guys started this journey in the first place, right? You guys started this journey because you want to be off steroids. You don't want to carry a tub of cream everywhere you go. You want to get yourself in a place where you no longer have to go to the doctor and ask for a steroid cream, or have to wear long sleeves all the time and worry about what people have to think about your skin. And the only way for you guys to get to that point is to, be strong and deal with the flare-ups you are dealing with right now, because I always say you have to get worse before you get better. That is just the reality of it. I know it's hard to hear because nobody wants to suffer, especially if you guys have been dealing with the flare-up for many months. It is, something that you still just have to go through and know that it's going to get better, right? There's so many success stories of people coming through the other side. Take me, for example. I am your role model, right? So just reminding yourself that it can pass and it will pass, and that it's going to get worse before it gets better, and just constantly reminding yourself, right? I want you guys to future pace. Imagine how your skin is going to be in 10 years. I know 10 years seems like, oh my God, a long time. I don't want to say a year because I always try to be realistic. Sometimes healing eczema in a year is not doable, especially if you've been dealing with TSW or whatever chronic condition. It may take longer. So I try to kind of extend the timeline a little bit so it makes sense for you guys, because 10 years from now, you should be healed if you're doing all the things correctly in terms of, your nutrition and managing your stress and all of that. So being able to imagine how your skin is going to be in 10 years is going to make you feel better, right? You're going to be a lot more encouraged to keep going. You're going to be more inspired. So every day when you guys wake up in the morning, future pace, right? Sit at the edge of your bed and think, okay, I don't feel good today, but I know in 10 years I am going to be free of all this suffer, right? My skin's going to be great. I can go outside in short sleeves, like just whatever thoughts you can think of that will keep you positive, do it. And the other thing is to take notes, okay? One thing I used to do when I was going through the worst of the flare-ups was to always write down sticky notes. So I don't have sticky notes right now, but I would take sticky notes and stick them on the wall and write down what I wanted my skin to look like. So I would say, my skin is going to be healthy. My skin is going to be smooth. I am no longer going to have itchy skin. Like whatever I want my skin to be at, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to stick it on the wall and look at it every day. No, it sounds a little bit ridiculous, but trust me, the power of your mind makes a huge difference. So I want you guys to do that. That's going to be your guys's task for this week. Okay, you're going to take, excuse me, you're going to take a sticky note, multiple of them, and you're going to write down affirmations. And then you're going to write it down on the sticky note and post it on the wall and read it to yourself every day. Okay, do this and tag me on Instagram. Okay, if you guys are going to do this, tag me on Instagram because I want to know you guys are taking action and writing down those affirmations. Okay. All right. What are you guys saying here? I am at the dusty powder stage. Every morning, thick white layer, powder skin. What food do we eat? So I'll just quickly answer some of these questions. There's no quick food to eat to help with, the dusty powder stage. You just have to let it pass. In fact, being in the dusty powder stage is a good sign. So another way for you guys to keep positive is to know your stages of healing, okay? That's really important. So of course, the initial stages, you're gonna be red and oozy and inflamed, right? Then it's gonna move on to the next stage where you're flaking a lot. You might have some redness, but you're seeing big chunks of flakes coming off, and then your skin might be itchier. And then the later stages is when your flakes get smaller. So they're a lot like powder, like what Pia was saying, and that's a really good sign, okay? So leave your skin when it's like that and just let it pass because that's a really good sign that your skin is healing. I like the sticky note idea. Physical reminders of ways of manifesting sound really powerful. Oh yes, absolutely. Definitely try it out. Okay, what else did I want to mention to you guys? Yeah, so when you're dealing with a flare-up, what else you can do to stay positive, I guess, besides the whole mindset and doing affirmations, knowing that the flare-ups are going to pass, realizing that you're in this for a reason. You're in this because you want to eventually, either be off of steroids completely and no longer have to rely on them, right? You started a journey for this reason. And so just reminding yourself that. Getting yourself in comfy clothes. I know this seems very simple and obvious, but I find when I'm flaring, I feel so much better when I can just put on a pair of long sleeve, loose clothing, wear some pajamas, get into comfy clothes, and watch your favorite show, watch your favorite Netflix series. Those are all ways to kind of make yourself feel better, for lack of better words. I think it's always helpful. And then, like I said, picturing yourself that your skin's going to be healthy, right? No flares, less itch, and future pacing. Looking at old photos of your skin that's healthy and clear, as long as it doesn't make you upset. I know sometimes looking at your old photos, you feel that you'll never get there, but it can help sometimes, right? Looking at other success stories, my stories about my journey, how I went through TSW. You guys saw how my skin was terribly in the first year, and looking at the success photos and trying to imagine yourself there. Okay, hope that was helpful in terms of tips. I'm just looking at my notes here if I missed anything. I think the biggest thing, honestly, is like just based on my experience going through eczema and TSW, a lot of it is mindset. If you guys can get your mindset correct and knowing how to manage your flare-ups, like through emotional healing, meditation, thinking positively, even looking for support. If you guys can have support from someone one-on-one that knows what you're going through, that can make a huge difference. Because sometimes you guys just need to let it out, right? You need to just let it out, cry it out, release that anger, release those emotions. Like you'd be surprised how helpful that can be instead of bottling it up, right? You don't want to bottle up your emotions because if you do that, then eventually it's going to flare up and it's going to be a nightmare. Okay, so I'm going to spend the last 5 minutes to have you guys repeat after me. Now, I can't hear you guys over this live, but I'm going to assume that you're going to repeat after what I say. And then, yeah, something to kind of help you guys, start learning how to do affirmations. Okay, repeat after me. My flare-up is temporary and it will pass. Give you guys time to say that to yourself out loud. My flare-up is temporary and it will pass. Okay, repeat it again to yourself. My flare-up is a sign that I need to take care of my body and I will continue to do so. Okay, repeat after me. My flare-up is a sign I need to take care of my body and I will continue to do so. All right, next one. If I continue to take care of my body, my skin will heal. Okay, if I continue to take care of my body, my skin will heal. Hope you guys are repeating. Okay, next one. I will have beautiful skin, just like how it was in the past. Okay, repeat after me. I will have beautiful skin, just like how it was in the past. All right. So I want you guys, so the reason why I'm doing this in today's live, because I want to connect with you guys and, start taking action on what you can do to stay positive. And one of the most powerful ways of doing this is repeating these things to yourself, right? Think about times when you guys were studying for an exam. I don't know about you guys, but I used to read my notes out to me out loud. I would, highlight and read, study biology or whatever and read it out back to myself. And I always found that the best way for me to really remember it and really for me to, remember it. So same thing with positive affirmations, right? If you can read it aloud to yourself, your brain actually takes it in more better than just like thinking it. So if you guys can wake up every morning and, read these affirmations out aloud to yourself in the morning when you wake up and in the nighttime before you go to bed every day, I think it's really going to change the way you think about your flare-ups. You're not going to be so negative about it, and it's going to help you.